Hello everyone. Let us see few more examples on calculating time complexity. Here is a simple example given where you have two independent for loops. Note that it is not a nested for loop, it is two independent for loops here. For I equal to 0, I less than and I plus plus, you're printing the value of I. For j equal to 0, j less than m j plus plus, printing the value of j. N need not be same as m. N and m are input variables, the size of the input. N can be different from m. So here this particular statement is getting executed n plus 1 time and the statement within it is getting executed n times. Whereas j equal to 0, j less than mj plus plus is getting executed m plus 1 time and the statement within it is getting executed n m time. So the time complexity can be represented as order of n plus m. Here n can be same as m and need not be same as m, and since it is in the code snippet it is given as two different variables, we will have to represent the time complexity as the two different variables n and m, because size of n need not be same as size of m. Here is another example wherein we have the first statement where we are initializing the value of a equal to 0, which will get executed only one time throughout the code. So this is independent of the size of the input. So this is a constant time for int a equal to 0. And then we have a for loop, and here it is a nested for loop. The first for loop is for I equal to n by 2, I less than or equal to n, I plus plus. So it is executing for, depending on the size of the variable input n, but it is executing for only half of the size of n. So if it is n equal to 10, it is starting from 10 by 2, that is 5. So the number of times this is getting executed, or the number of input variables it is getting executed, is n by 2. Now we have an inner for loop where 4 is starting, j is starting with 2. It executes until j is less than or equal to n, j equal to j plus 2. We have seen this type of for loop earlier in the previous sessions, where the value of j is incremented by a multiple of 2. So in this case, please refer to the previous video session to find uh, how do we calculate the time complexity when the j value is getting multiplied by 2. So each time it is, each iteration it is 2 to the power of 1, next time it is 2 to the power of 2, 2 to the power of 3, 2 to the power of 4, etc. So we can generalize it as 2 to the power of k, and the for loop comes out of the loop when j, the value of j is greater than n. So we can say that 2 to the power of k is n, and the value of k can be represented as log n to the base 2. So this particular for loop statement get executed, the time complexity of this is log n. We have an inner statement k equal to k plus n by 2. So it get executed until whenever the value of j is less than or equal to n, the inner statement will get executed. So it is nothing but n into log n. The time complexity can be written as a function of f of n, where f of n equal to n by 2 plus log n plus n into log n. So the overall time complexity of this statement can be represented as order of n into log n. So here is another code snippet where integer I equal to 0, I less than and I plus plus. The value of I is starting from 0. It get executed until till I is less than n. That is when the value of I becomes greater than n, it terminates the loop. Now look into the statement inside the for loop, wherein the value of I is getting multiplied by a variable k. So here in this case, we can clearly see that the number of times the for loop is getting executed depends on the input variable n as well as the value of k, because the value of I is getting multiplied by the value of k, right? So it depends on these two variables, that is n as well as k. Now let us assume k is a constant and n is the maximum number of input which is given to perform the action in the given code snippet. Now, if imagine k is 2, we have seen in the previous cases when the value of I is getting multiplied by 2, we have seen that the time complexity of that particular statement will be log n to the base 2, right? So here it is nothing but, if k is 2, the time complexity can be represented as log n to the base 2. Yeah. And here, if it is k, that is k, the value of k is 3. If the value of k is 3, the time complexity of this particular statement will be log n to the base 3. Because when it is getting multiplied by 3, it will be nothing but log n to the base 3. Since k is a constant, whose value, for which the value can be anything, so here the time complexity of this can be represented as order of log n to the base k, majorly because it depends on the input number n as well as the variable or the constant value k. So here please note, I've missed the value of k here. If k is 2, it will be log n to the base 2. If k is 3, it will be log n to the base 3, and so on. So in general, we can write the time complexity as order of log n to the base k. Thank you.